Can you just put into words what this means to already be the champion of a second division this early in your UFC career?
It means a lot to me to be able to conquer this after so many years of training and dedication. And also, it's very important for me to be able to show to everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody know where I came from, my humble beginnings. So to get here and achieve this is a big achievement for me.
Very nice. Yuri, obviously notoriously kind of wild, difficult to predict, unique. How did you find being in there with him? Was it more challenging maybe than you thought?
Well, I was not that surprised. You know what I mean? I knew this was going to be a good fight for me. Maybe a little surprised to find the distance a little bit at first, but then I found myself in the fight. I knew I was going to make a mistake.
Yes. Yuri himself said there's no controversy, but the stoppage was a little weird. I guess what did you see during the stoppage, and do you feel confident that it was stopped at the right time?
No, man, he was feeding those punches. I felt he was feeding those, and then when he got in, he got connected to the left hook, and then the cross. Once he dropped on my legs, which he was not like getting a takedown, but he actually fell. I start punching. I start feeling that he was a little bit fading away, and I think it was a good stoppage. I know maybe his friends and his supporters, his people, his fans, gonna maybe try to say that was not, but I think was the correct way.
Nice. Last thing for me, you mentioned the name Adesanya again. Dana was here earlier, and he said, "Look, Jamal Hill's next." Is that a fight that you welcome, and what do you think of Jamal as an opponent?
No, I meant what I said over there. You know what I mean? I think I owe this to a designer. He motivated me at first, and I think the whole thing about him staying all this time, 2027, and I think it's a waste of talent. So I think many people try, but I think I'll be able to bring him back.
Poatan.
He just asked Dana White if he will be open to make a title defense for Alex in Brazil, and we asked him if this was his wish too. Well, it really don't matter to me, even though it's much more convenient to fight here because it's about an hour and a half from my house. So you know what I mean. It's much easier than have to move the whole team somewhere, but that's up to the organization.
É bem provável que o
It's most likely that Jamal Hill is going to be your next opponent. The fact that he already defeated Glover is something that fuel you a little more for this fight.
Muito,
Like I spoke to other reporters, they asked too. I don't know if he'll be able to be ready on time or not. And when it comes down to revenge, the same as on this fight. You know what I mean? Like everything can happen over there. Could have came with the loss, but nothing more, nothing personal.
E a minha última.
You're the first fighter to win on two different weight classes in such a small amount of fights. Let's say everything doing fine, you defend the belt a few times. Fighting a heavyweight is something that you have in mind.
bom,
Since I was fighting middleweight, people already been asking me if I will fight a heavyweight, and I keep saying the same thing, that I'll have to listen to my body. I'm 36 years old now. I don't know how far can I still fight. So right now, my focus is just this.
Alex, I wanted to ask you, when you made the decision to go to MMA from kickboxing, what factored into that, and did you have to humble yourself? You're kind of starting over again in a new sport.
Well, I've been training MMA since 2015, but due to my kickboxing career, I had to focus more on that, put my whole focus on kickboxing. After I started helping Glover for his camps and start training at Glover's gym, I made a shift and merged into MMA.
When you decided to switch over, did you believe that you could be this successful this quickly? I know you had confidence in yourself, but in terms of believing that you could be a champion as fast as you became, and almost a legend, you have beaten 4 UFC champions already in your career. Did you think it could come this fast when you first tried MMA?
Man, I not even on that. Let's move back because on the beginning, I actually don't even know if I could support myself only as a fighter, if I could make a living out of that. But thanks to a lot of good people around me, kept me motivated, kept me boosting me. I'm here to champion 2 different weight classes.
Do you feel, my last question for you, Alex, do you feel like, Anderson Silva set a standard for fighters in Brazil with all the title defenses he made, but do you feel like the path you're on, you have a chance to be the greatest fighter ever from Brazil, given you've already won 2 titles and who knows what else you might be able to do in this sport?
Well, I'm not really focusing on that. I'm focused on just keep doing my job and fighting. You know what I mean? So it's not up to me. It's up to the people who make those records, who make that stuff to decide.
Alex in the front right here. A year ago, you said that the beating Israel Adesanya and claiming the middleweight title meant a little bit more than your Glory Championship. So I'm curious, where does this title win rank amongst all your other ones?
Well, right now, my biggest achievement is always my next fight. So the most important fights for me is always the next one. Once I retire, I'm going to look around. I'm going to take a real look at my career. I'm going to say, okay, this was the most important to me.
Will you get another UFC title tattooed on your arm?
Well, not another belt because it takes a while and I'm training, so there's a lot of sessions and stuff. But to speed up the process, I might put ×2 on each side. But I don't even finish this belt that I have on my arm, but maybe I put ×2 just to speed up and go with it. Or he put two little stones, two little jewels. Not too defensive, but people gonna know.
That's a good one. And I'm curious if you saw Israel actually tweeted about right after your interview. He posted a photo of you knocked out with a wig from the movie Frozen, and he said, "Let it go." So I'm curious if you see this and do you have a response to him?
Well, regardless what he say, I was respectful and I mean what I say. You know what I mean? I give him a chance. I think he's not he doesn't seem motivated, and I think there's a fight that everybody would like to see. So try to boost him to come back.
Hey,
So,
Alex.
quick question for you. Actually, first of all, congratulations. You are easily the best MMA fighter here in the Garden. 3 years running, 3 wins in a row. They're going to hang a jersey of yours from the rafters next to Clyde Frazier if you keep this up. But my actual question is a more of a technique one. Your best success came with the kicks, low kicks, mid kicks, but you ended up winning with basically a shovel hook. Were you at all surprised with the kicks being a success or the knockout coming off of the hook?
Well, everybody that know how I fight, I go, hurting my opponents little by little. And with this one was no different. So I put him on a point that he either had to start moving back or he had to start to moving forward, and that's what he did. Kind of rushed a little bit, almost more, you know what I mean, on survivor mode. So that's when he saw that he could catch him with the left hook.
Lex, over here in the front. So you've obviously accomplished a lot in this building. You won your debut in the UFC here. Next year you win your first title. Next year, this night, you win your second title. What does this arena mean to you in your career? Do you have affection for it, or is it just another place?
Well, it's my house here now. Just gotta see who do I get the key.
And when will you be back at your house? Do you hope it'll be next year? I know you don't have control over that, but is that something you'd like to do next November? Come back here again?
Well, like people just ask about me fighting in Brazil, right? I would love to fight over there and bring, you know what I mean, all this love to the fans, but realistically, this is only an hour and a half drive from me. You know what I mean? So if I could fight here, always is good.
Hey, Alex, in the back. I just wanted to ask, as somebody who also calls Danbury, Connecticut home, I just wanted to ask what it's been like to have the support of that community.
Well, since day one when I came to Danbury, Glover was very receptive to me. Not only him, but everybody around there was very warm with me and start training over there. And find myself training sometimes. You know what I mean? Glover is a different guy. He put me to train sometimes with amateur guys, and I see how hard it is with his amateurs over there. So I realized that that's a place that can bring something different for me. It's a place that I should have stayed there. So I would like to be in there.
Question from me. Congratulations on winning another championship. Compared to last year, where the volume was turned way, way up, and obviously there was a lot of trash talking between you and Israel, was it more of a relaxing week, knowing that you were fighting someone that respected you, you respected him? Was it more relaxing, or what was the difference?
No, since yesterday I was talking to my team, you know what I mean, how on the press conference, everybody was more composed, more quiet, but we say that like that's not going to matter because I know that this fight's going to sell good, and so today, you know what I mean, they are the full arena in great fight.
And one more question from me. Obviously, you're holding the same belt that Glover Teixeira held, and I and a lot of people can consider you one of the greatest Brazilian fighters of all time and put you in the same vein as an Anderson Silva, Nogueira brothers, all the greatest. But are you ready to consider yourself and put yourself on that esteemed list?
Well, like I said before, I just do my job. I just keep training. Whoever's in charge to make these records, they're going to know where to put me in and where I'm going to belong.
Congratulations, champ.